Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today is episode 2 of Briggs the Briggs refresh, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. As you saw in the first video, we're not going to be able to do as much as we wanted to do. Briggs just isn't the right block for all those pretty shiny billet parts I bought. So we'll still clean them up. I do have new valves. I have new rings. We're just going to get them cleaned up, painted, valve job, quick little valve job, run a hone down the cylinder and clean it up really to accept the paint. I've got Groot here hanging out with me. He's going to be my co-pilot during this rebuild, my assistant. So with that said, let's get going on Briggs the Briggs rebuild, refresh, whatever you want to call it. So getting down here, I already started taking out the valve springs. I started working on it. I was out cutting the grass today and came in and said, oh, I'll work on the Briggs a little bit. But then I forget that I want to document all of this, the whole build, you know. So yeah, I went ahead and took out the intake spring. So now I can pull the valve out. And the valve is actually not that bad. I have new ones, but I mean, there's not a lot of carbon buildup. The guides feel really good. They're not loose or nothing. They feel nice. So there's hope there that Briggs is going to be running a good again soon. What I'm going to do right now is get the other valve out. I've got my spring compressor here, and it just quickly locks in there, and let's get the valve down right there. And just compresses the spring. We're able to pull it out. You know, these are just like the other engines. They have the notched keeper there, just like the other engines. And we'll keep that all together. So I'm going to get to this one here, and then we're going to take the cam out, get the rod, the piston, and we'll talk some more. Probably not the best angle for that, but I've got my compressor tool here. We're going to slip it in under the keeper. Oh, I got to compress it a little bit. Under the keeper and in the spring like that, and just tighten her down. And that'll do it. Well, it took some chicory, but I got it. It came out. It came out. So we're going to go ahead and release it and lock those two together, because those are that's the exhaust and the exhaust keeper. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the exhaust spring and the exhaust keeper together like so. And we'll keep the intake and the intake keeper together like so. Wow, that was an adventure. The tool worked, but I guess there's a trade secret to using that tool. The timing gear already came off. It just kind of fell out. So we'll go ahead and pull the camshaft out. And the push rods, or I don't know, lifters, are coming out as well automatically. So there we go. Of course, it's got to fall all the way down inside like that. So we'll set those aside. They look to be in pretty good shape. No signs of really any wear. You know, they're riding on the plastic cam. Excuse me. I can see the plastic cam on the intake side's a little flat. Is it supposed to be that way? The exhaust is not. It's round, but flat. I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. The compression release seems to be working. Doesn't seem to be a problem. So yeah, we're gonna clean this up and we're gonna reuse it. because as we said before, we don't have a new cam. Now I could get a new plastic cam. I don't think they're all that much, and I think I saw one actually online, so I could probably pick that up. We're just gonna set that out of the way. Now it's time to get the piston and rod. I think it's 1/4 inch, so let me get my 1/4 inch. Is this 1/4 inch? What do you know? It is. Let me see if I can fit this in there to bust that rod out of there. Let me see. Yeah, it's not very tight. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Now, you can push the piston up. See if we can pull that crank out. That thing out of the way. Never taken apart a Briggs and Stratton. Wow, there's the crank. Looking pretty good. Now we'll just go ahead and push the piston out. There we go. A little tiny thing, man. There we go. Now I'm going to put the rod back together the way it was. I mean, it only goes together one way. Or you know what? Let's look at the journals real quick. They look okay. They look really good, actually. The journals look good. Briggs has been hanging in there. Now we know that there's some scoring on the cylinder wall. And you can kind of see where that's been on the piston. Right there, see that? There's some pretty deep marks in there. Right here too. All the way around, actually. So it's got some grit in there at some point. And well, we're gonna take care of that. We got the new rings. We're gonna clean this piston up. We'll probably go ahead and take some fine grit sandpaper and smooth out the sides, the skirt of the piston, and definitely clean the top. We'll get it all in working order. Taking a look, I don't know if you can see that, but taking a look down inside, there's some pretty good scoring down there. And like all the way around. Some good gouges. You can feel them with your fingernail. Like I said earlier, I ordered up some fine grit stones for the aluminum bore. And I think it's 400 grit. And we're not going to really bore it out, so to speak, because that'd be hard to do. We could probably do it with the 220 stones, but no, we're just going to, it's going to be hard enough to find parts in the pistons I need. This is an aluminum, it needs all chrome. And, well, it doesn't look like chrome, but I don't know. I guess that's what they say. So all I'm going to do is take my 400 stones and just take the gloss out, take the shine out, give it a matte finish, put in the hone as best I can with the crosshatch, because I do not see any of that in there anymore. That cylinder's got some hours on it. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll get the cylinder rehoned. We're gonna get the block all cleaned up. I gotta get these plugs out, and we're going to port and polish the exhaust and intake, kind of clean them up, get the sharp edges out of them, and just make them flow a little easier. We don't want to make them too large because they are small valves. We don't want to cause a problem there. So we're just going to take off the sharp edges everywhere. Probably take out the threads here because I'm going to use a flange as the exhaust. This one on the intake, I already marked with black Sharpie. where the gasket is, and there's a little bit of material that can come out to match port the intake to the block. So just to make it flow a little easier in there. And yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Now it's just a lot of cleanup, and well, it's easy stuff to do, but time consuming. So we might touch a little bit on that. Let me get these plugs out of here if I can. Get these oil plugs out. Like I said, I probably won't touch too much on the cleaning up. I might just show a little bit of what I do to clean it up. And then we also said we were going to take off some of these sharp edges on the block to just make it look a little smoother. And yeah, we're going to make Briggs look good. Briggs is going to be a sharp looking engine when he's all done. So yeah, that's it. I got new seals, I think. I got this one, or I might have the one on the PTO side. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. I've got some new O-rings for the oil dipstick, new head gasket, new intake and exhaust gaskets, side cover gaskets, like I said, the new valves. I mean, we're gonna do it up right. Now I watched a video online. What's that guy's name? The guy with the big buck teeth. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was him. Where you could take the valve and sandpaper and go in here and kind of give it like a cheap valve job without a cutter, and just kind of sand it down, you know, like we do when we lap them, and then clean it up, and then go ahead and lap the new valve to that to get a good seal. These look pretty good. You know, I didn't check the guide on the exhaust. Oh yeah, this feels good too. I don't have to worry about guides. But like I said, we're going to get it all freshened up and looking good. We're going to paint it the red and black, the DIY Willy colors, I guess. And see how it looks anyway. Now, I have all those parts I bought, all those billet parts. And I really just don't want them to go to waste. You know, I could maybe do a giveaway and give them away, but honestly, who builds the Briggs anymore? You know, I don't know of too many people that do it. There's a lot of videos online, but they're old videos already. So rather than try to, you know, leave these billet parts on the shelf or try to raffle them off or give them away or whatever, I think, well, in fact, I know so. I bought 2 more engines, and these are the 130202 engines. 130202. This was what was recommended by Kentucky Fried Fixes, and I found one on eBay, same place I found Briggs here, and that's a larger engine case, and it'll fit those billet parts. Also, while I was digging around, I found a Raptor case, a Raptor engine with side cover and head, crank, piston. It already has an ARC billet rod. Looking forward to getting that one. The only problem with that one is the engine got water in it and it seized. It seized inside the cylinder. And the Raptor is a steel bore cylinder. And I don't know about the 130202, the 5 horse. I don't know if that might be aluminum like this one, a cool bore. But the Raptor is a steel bore. And it's marked up. The piston that's in it is a 10,000ths over. So if I can free up that piston and either have, you can buy larger pistons. You can buy 10, 15, and 20. I think all the way up to like 45,000ths. I'm not sure how much bigger they go, but I can bore that cylinder out and then hone it. I'm going to try just honing it once I get the piston out of it and the rust out, see if I can hone it just maybe to a 15,000ths, and then without going to the machine shop and having it bored out deeper. Again, that's the Raptor block. It's still coming. It's not here yet. When it gets here, we'll definitely show it and compare it to the size of Briggs here. But I'm really happy with Briggs. Briggs is a great engine. He'll run that mini bike about 35 miles an hour, and that's plenty fast enough. He may do better after the refresh. You know, he might get a little better even, but I'm not really gonna push him hard because of that. I don't have a billet rod in there and that plastic cam. I don't want things to get torn up and grenade in there because the governor's gone, you know. So we're gonna put it back with all the stock parts. But yeah, so I'm gonna get the solution ready to soak this thing in for a while, get rid of all the grease and goo that's all over it. I don't want that getting embedded into the aluminum when I go to paint it. So it's best to try to degrease it with some hot water, hot soapy water, and get all the oils out of it as best we can to prep it for paint and cleanup. Once it's all cleaned up, then I'll get in here with my Dremel and smooth everything out and get the valves. We might cut the eyebrow a little bit, just kind of flush it up, giving it that taper like this going up to the cylinder, maybe to flow a little easier. I don't know, maybe it'll give me 10 more horsepower. I doubt it. From what I find, it's a 5-horse engine. Everybody's telling me 3.5 or 2.5, but it's, from what I find, it's a 5-horse engine, even though it's so small. But we're gonna go with it. I'm calling it 5-horse. I even got some 5-horse stickers for it when I get it all done. That it'll think it's bigger than it might be. I don't know. Let me get that cleaning solution up, and we'll get Briggs soaking for a day or so in that solution. All right, so we've got Briggs all cleaned up, and actually, I mean, it looks really good. I went ahead and took the head and the block on a piece of sandpaper and got it all flattened out. Took the wire wheel to everything, wire brush. I mean, it really looks good. Let's check it out. Here we've got Briggs. He's all cleaned up, looking shiny, almost like new. Looking really good. The head, as you can see, the mating surfaces, I got it all flat and cleaned up. It was actually really bad. I don't know if we have a picture of it before. I should have took something before, but I didn't. But it was really textured like this side is. See how that's kind of textured? Well, the mating surface was like that too. And the top of the block was the same way. It had these lines in it. And you see those? Yeah, you can see those right there. There's a little bit left, but this is really low. Same with right here. This is lower than the rest was. So I got the top as flat as it can get, as I want to take it rather. I could have probably taken it and got this down too, but it's not really that necessary. Everything here, I got this side a little bit flattened out, nice and smooth. I took a flapper wheel to all the sharp edges, got all the sharp edges smooth. It was cutting me up bad. Everything was sharp on it. So we got it all smoothed out. I could have put a little bit more right there, but that's all right. This is nice and smooth now. The transitions right there are smooth. Oh, there was a sharp spot. I felt it. Where was it? I don't know where it was. I felt it though. But everything looks really good and super clean. The side cover also the same way. It's really clean. I think I got a new seal for this, for actually both sides, that we'll try to put in and have it ready to go. Inside is all clean. Everything is just super nice. We got all inside the fins all nice and done. I mean, Briggs just looks good. So what's next is to get the hone done. I've got the 400 grit stones to get in there and take the roughness out. I can actually feel it with my fingernails. So we're gonna dehaze it, or deglaze it, whatever you want to call it. And you can see right there, you can feel those on your fingernail. I'm gonna go ahead and get in there and dehaze it. Not really trying to make it any bigger. but just put the crosshatch back in and take out those big gouges right there. So yeah, everything looks good. We'll also get in there and take out or smooth out all the sharp edges inside, you know, the port and polish. I'm going to open this up to match port it to the intake manifold. We'll probably get rid of these threads here on this side and go with a flange here to make the exhaust flow a little better. And yeah, really looks good. A lot of reflection on that, huh? Turn the light down. So yeah, everything is looking really good on Briggs. I went ahead and cleaned up some of the other parts, some of the outside parts that go on here, some of the cooling sheet metal stuff, and I did all the wire brush, all the hardware. I would have liked to have got new hardware, but I just went ahead and wire brushed. I'm going to paint them anyway, so it'll be fine like that. I forgot to say that I used 150 grit sandpaper on the mating surface, and put it on a flat spot, my welding table, and put water on there and just went around in circles, back and forth, rotated it back and forth, changed the direction, and got it super nice. I really like how it looks. I tried to get some of this out with the flapper wheel, but I just didn't want to dig too much. I'm not trying to really increase the compression, because the Briggs is trying to like flow rather than compression. Compression helps, of course, but they like to have flow better. So I might have increased the compression a little bit just by taking however much off. I didn't measure it to smooth out the block and the head. You know, I went a little bit closer, I'm assuming. But yeah, Briggs looks good. We're getting ready to go inside and do the porting, do the honing, and reassemble the engine, and then we'll mask it off and we'll go ahead and paint it like we did the Monster 212 and get it all nice and like a matte black, and it'll look good. So with that said, I guess that's it for this video. I don't want to make it too long. There's a lot of work in between. I didn't show doing the sanding. I might show doing the porting in the next video and doing the honing. I don't know yet. Depends on how much time I have. I might just try to get it done and then just show what I did when I'm finished. There we go. So I know Briggs is going to work a lot better than it did. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it before. It ran beautiful, but now it's just going to run that much better. So I guess with that said, I'm going to end the video here. We got a good look at Briggs and what's the plan going forward, and well, it's time to start doing the other work. And like I said, I may not show that. I might just get it done. I might show it. I don't know. We'll have to see how much time I have and how soon I want to get it back together. And yeah, so I did buy another engine. I bought a couple of them. I bought another 3-horse like Briggs. Basically, it was 25 bucks off the list site, and it had a nice gas tank on it. I really like that. That's worth the 25 bucks, I think. But I don't know about the rest of it. It pulls kind of hard, so it probably needs some honing and some refresh too. But I bought it for 25 bucks. Who cares, right? Could use it maybe for some parts. And I bought 2 more the 13002 engines. One of them claims to be a Raptor engine, and the other one is just the 13002. So I hope the Raptor engine is what it says it is, but it's rusty. We got to get in there and take the rust out of it, rehone it. It's already 10 thousandths over, so I don't know, maybe we can go 15 thousandths and hone the cylinder enough to make it work again, if it's not too bad, and clean up the block much like we did Briggs right now. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave a comment down below for anything that you want to say or see, or questions about what I've done and what I've got going on moving forward with this build. I know my engine builds are in multiple parts. I apologize. I do as much as I can, as soon as I can. If I tried to make them all in one video, it would be just like one massively long video. But I don't want that. I'll do it like this. And, well, I'm enjoying it. And Briggs, you know, Briggs is one of my favorite engines. So he's going to be running good when he's done. And I hope you guys come back, check out the progress of Briggs, and well, thanks for coming by and checking out the videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.